Please use this app responsibly, watch first and practice later.
Our mohawk, also known as a C-step, is a turn from forwards to backwards by changing feet. It also involves a little twist just in the moment between the forwards and backwards step. Our first method for our mohawk, we are going to use a skating side lead, that is skating foot, I'm choosing my right, and upper body, right side also. We're going to use that giant L shape that we've been working on in some of our other skills, and we're going to be hugging the circle that we're skating around. Now, next stage that is going to be important is floating T. This is something that we've done a little bit of work on already, but the placement of where this T is going to float is a little different. So let's start with this, that as we're gliding, we're going to be bringing that foot into our instep.
And so our T
will float halfway along our foot inside of our skating circle. So as we skate, we draw that foot in, heel to instep, and hold it just inside and pointing into our circle. Remembering our bend, lean and twist as control mechanisms, we're now going to be preparing to use twist just in the moment immediately before we exchange from one foot to another. Having skated our entry edge with our matching side and preparing our floating T, our next stage is to initiate twist from our waist. I'm repeating the movement here so you can see how it's going to work. We're initiating twist just before we switch to the opposite foot. We're going to take that again so that we can see the motions in action. We're gliding in, skating side lead, floating T, twist and switch to the opposite foot. Now in the process of that twist and switch, we're going to have an exiting foot, and we're going to talk about that next. Having executed the floating T, the twist, and the switching to the opposite foot, we now have a foot that is needing to be ejected from the ice. And we're going to make sure that as that foot is ejected from the ice, as the new one comes in to claim your balance and become your new standing foot, we're going to make sure that that foot slides away. Now it's either going to slide away and extend, if we're more in the figure skating style, or if we're slightly more in the hockey skating style, we're going to let it slide and pick up underneath us. Either way, that foot will exit the floor from forwards, sliding and coming up, a little bit like an airplane taking off, going along the runway and picking up. So as we're exiting with that foot sliding and lifting, or sliding and lifting. Our more advanced method for figure skaters in particular of executing our mohawk or C-step involves adding check, so changing the shoulders from out of the circle to into the circle. This adds a little bit of momentum to what we're doing and allows us, when we're skating either dancing moves or part of a routine, to control the turn better. It's not that it's not beneficial for hockey skaters to learn this, so I do recommend you should be able to do every kind of turn. The difference is figure skaters are more likely to encounter this in a choreographic setting, whereas hockey skaters have to work more on a natural basis and on the spur of the moment as they go. Our second method of entering into our mohawk, we are going to be looking at starting with an opposition check. I've chosen my right foot to glide into my mohawk, so my left arm will stretch forward and make that giant L shape as I skate in. I'm going to transport those arms and shoulders as I glide forward, and they're going to arrive at this opposite side just at the same time as my feet make that floating T shape. So we're gliding in, moving the shoulders around and creating that floating T together. Now it's important to note that this method is really only going to be a difference for the entry. It makes no difference to the exit, it just allows us a greater degree of control for our entry.
Let's see the skill join together. Our L and floating T arrive together just before the twist of the turn. Now let's see super slow motion. We push and transport the L as we close the T into position, finding that spot together, then twist and replace with the new foot, sliding the original foot away to eject it behind. Time for a tight shot on the feet because I know our skaters are always curious. So we see the T being formed inside of the inside edge circle here, floating just a few millimeters from the ice in preparation for the turn. You'll notice that the twist and the weight exchange start together, both feet working around on the ice until the original foot can be ejected from a forwards glide, but immediately rotating so that now it's following our skating foot in a neat exit glide. And now close up, but full speed. For any skaters in hockey skates, a mohawk is one of the few skills that is truly universal, as it relies 100% on edge and body control rather than the use of any toe pick action. So we can make that switch just as neatly, no matter which equipment we're skating on. And a final note on exit glides, you'll notice here that Vitali holds a really strong line on the exit glide, indicating his continued direction of travel, really useful for when we want to connect that mohawk to other skills like backwards crossovers.
Okay, that's good, then I can edit that in. Okay, where was I? Dan, we were preparing to twist. Okay, come this way a little bit. Oh wait, no, sorry, bad advice, sorry, I gave him bad advice. It's okay, don't worry about it, we'll edit, don't worry about it. Just skate as you would do.